Well, hey everyone, good morning. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It is great to be with you on another fantastic day. So grateful and wonderful to be alive here. I thank the Lord for allowing me to be here for another great day of my life. It is Tuesday, February 25th, and thank you so much for popping in. We get these shows out earlier and earlier. I think people like it when we have them earlier. So I just want to say welcome to everyone. You guys know what our master topic is for the week, but if you don't, it's inspiring journeys of growth and renewal. We're on series 4, and the master topic for the week was that, but the granular topic for today is pretty cool. Mindset shifts for sustainable growth. We're on series 4, show 9, and yes, we are on episode number 4. So, welcome everyone. If you just got up, grab yourself some juice, maybe something hot, or maybe just something sweet or not, and join me here after you got your nutrition. So, welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. Your mindset is the foundation of everything you achieve in life. It shapes how you respond to challenges, pursue goals, and create lasting success. But mindset isn't just about thinking positively, it's about making deep, sustainable shifts that align with your vision for growth. In today's episode, I'm going to dive very deep into mindset shifts for sustainable growth, uncovering the key principles that can help you break free from limitations, embrace challenges, and build resilience. If you're ready to transform your thinking and unlock your full potential, let's get started because this episode is just for you. All right, number one, everyone, understanding mindset shifts. That's something that's like a big buzzword a lot of people say, but they don't really know what it means. So, a mindset shift is more than just changing your thoughts, it's a fundamental transformation in how you perceive yourself and the world. It's about breaking away from limiting patterns and embracing a perspective that supports continuous growth. To achieve lasting success, you must first recognize that your mindset is fluid and it's not fixed. That is very, very important and can evolve with intention and practice. The power of a growth mindset is very, very important too. Number two, a growth mindset is a belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. When you adopt this mindset, failures become lessons, challenges become opportunities, and setbacks become stepping stones to your success. The most successful people in the world didn't get there because they were naturally gifted. They got there because they believed in their ability to grow and improve. Number three, overcoming limiting beliefs. Your beliefs shape your reality. If you believe you're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough, well, you'll subconsciously create a reality that reflects those thoughts. Identifying and challenging limiting beliefs is crucial for transformation. Ask yourself this question: is this belief that I have serving me or holding me back? Reframe your negative thoughts and replace them with empowering beliefs that support your success. I know that sounds like something that's impossible, but you know what? It's not impossible. Everything is a belief. Hey, and don't forget to check out believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. As you know, I'm not only a podcast host, but I'm also a podcast coach, and I help people every day grow their reach online. So, when we think about overcoming limiting beliefs, we also have to do number 4, which is reframing basically challenges as opportunities. Now, I know that sounds like something that is like pie in the sky, but I have to tell you, it's not pie in the sky. Let me explain this to you. So, obstacles are not roadblocks, they are growth opportunities in disguise. The way you interpret challenges determines whether they hinder or they help you. By shifting your perspective and viewing challenges as necessary for growth, you build resilience and confidence instead of saying, why is this happening to me? Um, Ask, what is this teaching me? Number 5, the role of self awareness. Sustainable growth starts with knowing yourself. Self awareness allows you to recognize thought patterns, emotional triggers, and habits that either support or hinder your progress. Take time to reflect on your strengths, your weaknesses, and values. Journaling, meditation, and seeking feedback from others can help you develop a deeper, keener sense of understanding of yourself and your growth journey that you're on. Number 6, ladies and gentlemen, this is building resilience through mindset. I've talked about resilience many times. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks. And it's crucial that you understand this element of sustainable growth. A strong mindset helps you navigate failures without losing motivation. When challenges arise, instead of giving up, use them as fuel to push forward. The key to resilience is focusing on what you can control and taking action despite uncertainty. Number seven, daily practices to reinforce positive shifts. Mindset shifts don't happen overnight, they require consistent effort. Incorporate daily, like gratitude journaling, uh, visualization, affirmation, and mindfulness practices to reinforce positive thinking. Again, I know you're saying to me, John, well, it's not here yet. That's right. It's not here yet. But you got where you are today because of the thoughts you had yesterday and the days before. So your belief, ladies and gentlemen, creates basically the footprint for where you're going. Now, I know that can sound like, really challenging, but the belief is the hardest thing. Once you can grab the belief, then you can pretty much create anything. All right, number eight. How does mindset affect long-term success? So your mindset determines your trajectory in life. We mentioned that once before, right? The actual angle that something's going at. Those who believe in continuous growth, adaptability, and lifelong learning achieve more in the long run. A fixed mindset leads to stagnation, while an open, growth-oriented mindset propels you forward. Every decision, habit, and thought pattern you have will cultivate and shape your future success. Now, many people say, John, I can't make the change. I can't do this. I can't make the payment. I can't do this. I can't study. I can't. Okay, so you've already made the decision that you're not going to do it. Well, no, John, I just told you that I can't. No, no. Once you say you can't, or once you start putting excuses in your way, so we want to be looking for solutions. That's the whole key. But if you already are saying, you know what, I can't, and you have no idea, okay, I mean, no idea what to do, you can at least say, gee, what would it look like? You know, what is this teaching me, right? You don't want to jump on the bandwagon that says, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. And if you do that, ladies and gentlemen, that's just going to kick yourself in the foot. It's going to kick yourself right in the foot. So I know that a lot of you are probably saying to me, hey, John, this is great for you. You've been doing this for many years. Well, that's true. I have. But anybody can do this. It comes from that growth mindset. And you might be saying, well, John, that's not going to work for me. You don't understand my situation. You don't understand the challenges I have. You don't understand what bills I have. No, I understand. I get it. And I was in your spot before. So, you can turn around your life, not in 24 hours. Hey, Dr. Joe, great to see you. And so, I think it's important that when we adapt this kind of a mindset, we know we're going to go far, right? Look at myself, taking on a master's degree and then now a PhD degree in a few years. So, these things everyone else tells you can't. Don't listen to them because they're not you. They're either jealous of you, they probably haven't achieved anything in their own lives. And I'm not saying to judge them, but if you're getting so hung up by the fact that somebody else says, hey, you can't do that, just look at them for a second. Say, gee, have they achieved anything they've set out to do? And I'm not saying to compare in a sense that, they're better than you. I'm just saying, look, if they haven't even gotten to, let's say, first base, and they're telling you that you can't even get to the ballpark, like, or let's just say, they can't even get to the ballpark, and then they're telling you you're not allowed to make a home run. So do you get what I'm saying? You have to hang around in kind. The people you hang around in kind are the people that are going to inspire and change your life. And I think that's a very important thing to understand. And so maybe you can understand that it comes from internally, right? So let's talk about mindsets for a moment, right? So a mindset is a shift, and it's more than just changing your thoughts. So if I say to myself, I want to be an A+ student, right? Is it just me believing that I'm an A+ student? That's part of it. But then I need to take the steps. Like I need to be willing to study. I need to be doing other things. Is it getting extra help? Is it getting together study groups? Is it studying so much that I enjoy it? Yeah. Um, you have to decide what's going to fuel you. So the power of a growth mindset is absolutely astronomical. When we get a hold of a growth mindset, um, you know, our ability can go from 0 to hero. All right. Now, I know that sounds hard, right? You're not going to be a marathon runner overnight, but I got news for you. If you train and if you do some little steps, it will work. I'll give you an example of something that I did. So, I'm always into doing fitness. And a while back, I was 250 pounds. Now I'm like just around 165, 168, and I'm still trying to lose a few more. But to me, it was a fun journey. And so I said, gee, what else can I do to keep myself healthy? Besides eating great things, beside loving RO water, which I've loved for, oh gosh, probably well over 12, 14 years. I think for over 15 or 20 years, I haven't drank any soda. So I think it's important to understand. So one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to get stronger. Let's say a more defined core, even better legs. So I said, how can I do this? Right. Obviously, well, gee, spend time at the gym for hours. Now you don't need to do that. See that's just a mindset that people get into that they're going to hang out in the gym for all this time. They're going to waste this time and they think they're just going to lose weight. It doesn't just work like that. You've actually got to do work. So I said, why don't I just do something consistent every day? And I did for a while. I started doing squats. So I said, gee, this is going to be really easy. I don't know, I'm going to do 3 sets of 10, which is basically 30 squats. So I said, okay, I'm going to do this. So I started doing this several weeks ago. And then I did it every day. Well, by the second or third day, every time I tried to get out of the chair, wow, did I feel that. Now, first thing, I was doing the squats wrong and I was feeling the pain in the wrong part of my body. So then I realized my form was wrong. I adjusted my form, made sure that I bent my knees, kept form straight, and I did the exercises. But this time, I decided I was going to do them every 2 days. Why every 2 days? It's important to give your body, your nervous system, your tendons, your ligaments, your joints, and muscles time to heal. Because when I was getting up from the chair, especially like at the library or at school or something, every time I went to get up, or even at home, I went to just do this, like, oh, I would feel that. Now that I've got a routine that my body likes and my body enjoys, guess what's happening for me? I am rebuilding my core. And not only that, when I get up from the chair, it's not that discomfort anymore. I can tell that I worked out, like, but very minimal. So you should never be in any kind of strong pain. Discomfort, yes. Pain, no. So, what's it is in discomfort and pain? That's a great question. So, I had a surgeon many years ago who did my surgery for taking out my wisdom teeth, and I remember this. I was actually in I believe I was in college, and I was coming home um, for some long weekend or something, or a holiday or something, and I remember, you know, me asking him when I was interviewing all these doctors to see who I wanted to use, because a lot of times they treat you like a number and not like a person. So I did my research, and not to bore you with all that, but I found this great doctor, and I said, "Is it going to be painful?" And he says, "No, John." He says, "I don't want you to think it's going to be painful. I just want you to understand that it's going to have a feeling of discomfort." And I said, "Well, is discomfort pain?" He says, "No, it's just going to be a little uncomfortable." So I said, "Well, so like what's discomfort?" Well, if you, let's say, are used to writing with your right hand and you write with your left, it's a little bit discomforting, right? Or maybe if you're walking around all day and you walk around with two shoes, but maybe you're going to walk around with one shoe, right? That's not painful. It's just a little discomfort, right? Because the balance. Well, in the mouth, because they had basically did what they called an A cut, not to get too into that. Uh, they did the stitch and all those things, and then afterwards there was a little bit of discomfort. I could tell there was a cut made, but was it something that I was in screaming pain? No. They gave me painkillers, but I never even took them. In fact, I remember going out with some of my buddies from college, and we actually went out to a movie that night. And before we went to a movie, we went to a restaurant to have spaghetti because I figured I couldn't chew, right? So I just did a and had that with some water and some meatballs, and it was great. I remember going there; that was a lot of fun, and I really didn't want anything I could chew, so I didn't really want any dessert. I had Jello because you just kind of so just wanted simple things, right? Nothing you could really chew. Then I remember going to the movie theater. At that time, it was called I believe it was Lowe's in Willowbrook, and I forget what movie we went to see, but I remember going to the movie theater with my friends, and I remember my mouth being in not pain, but I could tell there was a little bit of just a little bit of a discomfort. Like it wasn't like have you ever burnt your mouth? And I don't wish anybody does that, but if you ever burnt your mouth, you feel that discomfort in your mouth. So that discomfort, it does go away, right? But it's a discomfort, right? It's not pain. I mean, it's a discomfort, right? So, of course, the burn is a pain, but then after that, it's like just a discomfort, like that area, like something's like missing up there, like the roof of your mouth. It doesn't feel right. So that's kind of what this felt like after the surgery. But there was a little bit of, let's say, a light throbbing. Now, not intense, but a little bit of light throbbing. So a little bit of discomfort from that. And so I asked the person at the concession stand, "May I have some ice?" And he says no. So I said, "Can I speak to your manager?" And he goes, "Well, he's really busy right now." So my friend steps in like real bossy. He's like, "What the heck here?" He's like, like my friend here just had surgery, and he's just asking for a cup of ice. Yeah, I'm sorry, we have a policy, we don't give out ice. He's like, "I want to talk to a manager." So manager comes up, all huffy and puffy. He's like, "How can I help you?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "My friend here just had surgery several hours ago." "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that." He said, "Everything okay?" I said, "Yeah, he's fine. He just asked for a couple ice." He says, "Oh, sure." So, well, your staff member said we don't. That's right. We have a policy. We don't give out ice. Um, and that's under normal circumstances. Of course, in your situation, we're happy to give you some ice. Because what would happen is the kids would get it. They would suck on the ice. They wouldn't buy any soda or any drinks. So he obviously understood our thing. And plus, we were going to buy something anyway. So, in fact, we later came back and bought ice cream because that was pretty easy. So I remember being at the movie theater with my friends, and I remember it being like around I think it was 8 or 9 o'clock, and I was supposed to take a pain thing. I remember taking one, and just like right after, the doctor said to take one. Then I remember like it was 8 or 9 o'clock. Take one, and I was like, "Oh wow, I was supposed to take it at like 8 o'clock." I was like, "Well, I don't really feel like." It's like, "You don't need to take it." I said, "Yeah, you're right. I mean, the anesthesia wore off." So I think sometimes our perception creates us more of a dilemma than we actually expected. So we make things 10 or 100 times worse than what they really are. And this is the real truth, ladies and gentlemen. So that night, um, I remember going home, and I remember sleeping just well. Everything was fine. And I remember in the morning, I remember the doctor giving me a call, and which was really nice. He gave me a call to say, "How am I feeling?" And I told him, I said, "I felt great." I said, "I just feel like I want to smash everything." He's like, "Oh." So apparently there was some reaction with the one tablet that I took. And so that was crazy. The next time I went back there, he didn't give me that. And the thing was, because I asked for the dissolvable stitches, he didn't even need me to come back. But the second time when I had the other two wisdom teeth taken out, he's like, "Oh, we don't do follow-ups." And I was like, and the nurse is like, "Well, you don't do follow-ups." I said, "What?" And he's like, "For Mr. Morley," he's like, "Yeah, we'll do a follow-up for him." He says, "Absolutely." He says, "We normally don't," he says, "but it makes it for more company." He says, "We're more than happy to do that." So I remember this office being so kind and gracious to me that I felt like I wanted to say thank you. And what I did was I think I brought in some cookies and a cake. And they said that patients don't normally do that, but I like the fact that this doctor treated me like a human being, and I don't see that from a lot of people. I hope that those of you out there that are studying in the medical profession realize that your patients are not a number. They're people, real people, just like you and I. And we need to have some compassion. and have a good bedside manner, right? Not just be there to collect the dough, as a lot of people, unfortunately, from the major networks have become. So, respect is something I believe goes a long way. So, how do we overcome our limiting beliefs? Well, one way to overcome a limiting belief is to just do something. Like if somebody says, "Oh, you're never gonna be a good bowler, you're never gonna do this, you're never gonna do that," so you try it out, right? And you start liking it. You say, "Well, gee, I can get better at this." And if that doesn't work, you're gonna say, like, I'm gonna get better at bowling every day. I'm gonna practice, and I know I'll get better. But the real important thing is ask yourself a question: Is this belief serving me, or is it holding me back? And when we say holding you back, if something holds you back, that means that that belief is actually stifling not only your creativity, but it's stifling your path to a success. And see, we don't want anything in our path for success, right? Whether those are bad habits, bad energies, and that even means bad people. Now, I don't mean bad like that they're very bad. I mean that they just suck your energy out of you, right? Why does it happen? Well, there could be lots of issues. I'm not going to here to basically diagnose that tonight or today. But when that happens, you just gotta kind of flip the situation and say, "Hey, what's going on, dude? Like, what's happening?" And if they don't want to flip after a couple times, like you gotta really just like ditch yourself from them. And you say, "Hey, it's nothing personal. It's just you robbed me of my energy. I just don't feel the same hanging around you anymore." And that's it. So self awareness. This is a real big key. When we understand what self awareness is, growth starts from within ourselves. That's a very, very powerful thing. Self awareness is when we catch ourselves doing something or not doing something. We can journal about it or not journal about it. It's completely up to you, whatever you want to do. But I think one of the most important things when we think about self awareness is taking that time out to reflect on your strengths, your weaknesses, and your values. Now, your values might be different when you were, let's say, 4 or 5 than they are now. Why? Well, you've grown, you've evolved, you've learned. And so it's okay to change your values, to change your beliefs, as long as those values and beliefs are going to propel you forward, right? Not impel you, but propel you forward. That is a very cool thing. And I think a lot of people get stuck in the he said, she said, or the bandwagon, like, oh, well, Mike said this, Chris said this, Bob said this, and there's no way. And I remember when that happened in school, when a coach said to me, he says, John, he goes, are you Bob? No. Are you Chris? No. Are you Mike? No. Okay. Then don't worry about it. Do you want to basically he asked me those questions? He says, John, do you want to try this? I said, I do. Okay. Well, what's the problem then? Well, I said, I don't want to hear about those 3. Okay. They're not you. Okay. You are your own person. Well, they're not going to like me if I don't care. So you're not doing something for a popularity contest. However, that's what happened a lot in grammar school and even high school. It became this popularity contest. And you know what I learned later? A lot of the people that were popular in high school basically have, unfortunately, not all of them, but a lot of them have gotten into lives that they just don't like being in anymore. Some people have, when I say have just kind of fade off the earth, they're still alive, but they're just kind of existing. Now, I've said before, you can either live or you can thrive. Well, John, what the heck is the difference? You both breathe. Well, so let's think about it this way, right? Let's suppose you were going to take a ride to, I don't know, maybe you're going to take a ride to some nice country destination. Maybe it's for a wine tasting and you're in California. Now, you can either take that ride in a basic car, or you could take that ride in a limo, or you could take that ride in a helicopter. Which would you take? I bet a lot of you would pick the helicopter or the limo. You see, when we learn that you know, in order to live, we do the basics. When we thrive, we really enjoy every aspect of our life, what we see, what we hear, what we touch, what we taste, what we experience, all of our proprioception. And proprioception, for just a moment, and for those of you who can't see, I'm actually closing my eyes. If I take my hands and I put one hand, let's say, behind my head, I'm putting my right hand behind my head right now. Now I know it's there, it's touching my head, but if I just take it and I move it away, I can still tell that my hand is behind my head. If I open up, I know it's back there. It's the proprioception. I did a whole show on that, actually on my science channel. But resilience is important. Okay, resilience is important too. And so, like Jen Drummond, who I interviewed about a year or two ago about the mountain, and she said something very interesting, and that was people before peaks. People before peaks. What does that mean, people before peaks? Well, it means something very simple. It means that don't have the disrespect to get to the high points in your life without first remembering the people. Now, it doesn't just have to be mountain climbing. It could be anything. I know I had a friend of mine. I'm not friends with him anymore because of his personality. And his personality was this. Let me explain. I only drifted away from him a couple years ago. He was about maybe 12 or 14 years younger than me. And he had this really gung ho attitude. Um, he kept leaving his job every 2 or 3 years because he just always wanted to get better. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just his whole mindset. So when he was working at his job, and he now is a financial analyst director, I think that's his title. He had like so many different titles they had in that whole thing. And then he finally got up to like financial director, which is like where he has a lot of people working under him. Well, he was a financial assistant director. He was a financial analyst. As a financial analyst, he had people that worked underneath him. And I remember him going to a meeting and him telling me, that he went to this meeting and, they gave the presentation, and the boss said, "Oh, this is a great job." I'm not going to mention his name. I'm just going to call him Chris. That's not his name. He goes, "Well, of course. What would you expect? I did go to Fordham." So very cocky like attitude. And later on, he tells me, John, he says, I didn't do that presentation. You didn't? No. He says, I have interns working for me. He says, they did the presentation. Well, what if they did a bad presentation? So I'll tell you what happened. That happened one time. They gave us a bad presentation. I brought it forward. He says, I always try to be a team player and let the office help out. So, that wasn't me. That was actually just one of my interns. What do you expect? I mean, if you would have asked me, I went to Fordham and you would have gotten quality. So he just has that kind of an attitude with him. And so I broke away from him because for him, it was always about him and not about others. So remember to adapt daily practices. This is so very key in life. If you adapt daily practices, your mind will start to believe it. Okay? If you say, think, and feel your affirmations, guess what? Your mind is going to believe it. So remember to measure your growth daily through those mindset shifts. And if you feel they're not giving you something, then maybe it's time to reprogram your GPS, to change your course, right? That's really important. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Mr. John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's always such a privilege and honor to be with you guys. Please do check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for my amazing, inspiring creations. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to catch you guys tomorrow. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And remember, shift that mind and start aiming yourself towards success.